The stars did not move. That was the first rule of deep space, everything was still unless you made it move. Commander Harlow Vance had served 23 years aboard Imperial vessels, and he had learned to trust the stillness. So when something moved on his sensor grid without permission, his blood ran cold. "Lieutenant Reed," Vance said slowly, never taking his eyes off the holographic display, "tell me that blip is a calibration error." Lieutenant Dana Reed leaned over her station, fingers dancing across the console. Her face went pale under the blue glow of the screens. "Sir, it's not an error." She swallowed hard. "Object is 4.2 kilometers in length. No transponder signal. No registered hull signature in the Imperial database. No known alien registry match either." Silence swallowed the bridge. Vance straightened his uniform. "And its heading?" Reed looked up slowly. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Straight for us, sir." Within 4 minutes, the Sovereign Flames Discovery had climbed 6 levels of Imperial command structure and landed on the desk of Admiral Grant Morrison, the man responsible for the defense of the entire Outer Rim. Morrison was not easily rattled. He had crushed 3 rebellions and negotiated peace with the Veth Collective without blinking. But as he stared at the incoming sensor data transmitted from Vance's ship, his jaw tightened. No heat signature consistent with known propulsion technology, his science officer, Dr. Patricia Hollis, reported from across the war room. "Whatever is moving that vessel, we have never seen it before." "Speed?" Morrison demanded. "0.3 light. And accelerating." Morrison stood. "Get me every available warship in Sector 9. I want a perimeter wall between that thing and the colony worlds. Nothing gets through." Dr. Hollis hesitated. "Admiral. If that vessel is what I think it might be." "What do you think it is, Doctor?" She pulled up a file on the central holotable, a file stamped classified, Omega level. Inside were grainy images, old radio signals, fragments of data recovered from a deep space probe that had gone silent 40 years ago. "The Hartford probe," Morrison said quietly. He remembered it. Everyone in high command remembered it. "Yes, sir," Hollis replied. "The probe that disappeared near the edge of the Kalos Void. And apparently found something." Inside the massive ship, there were no aliens. There was only one man. Captain James Rutherford, formerly of the United Earth Expeditionary Corps, officially listed as killed in action 41 years ago, sat in a chair that had been grown rather than built, surrounded by technology so far beyond Imperial understanding that their sensors could barely perceive it. He looked older. Not aged, older the way mountains were old. Weathered. Permanent. Beside him floated a geometric intelligence. Not a robot, not an AI in any traditional sense, a consciousness gifted to him by the architects of the Kalos Void, beings so ancient they had watched galaxies form. "They are mobilizing warships," the intelligence said. Its voice was like wind through crystal. "Of course they are," Rutherford said. He almost smiled. "That's what humans do. You are also human. I was human." He looked at his hands, hands that had not aged since the day he crossed the void. "Now I'm something the Empire doesn't have a file for." He leaned forward and opened a communication channel, broadcasting on every Imperial frequency simultaneously. Every screen on every Imperial vessel in Sector 9 flickered. Commander Vance watched as a face appeared on the Sovereign Flame's main viewer, a man with gray-streaked hair and calm, ancient eyes that somehow felt older than the ship around him. The man spoke simply. "My name is James Rutherford. You won't find that name in your records, your empire didn't exist when I left. I've come back because something is coming behind me. Something that makes your fleet look like campfires in a hurricane. Lower your weapons. We don't have time for war." The channel closed. Admiral Morrison stood motionless in his war room. Dr. Hollis whispered, "He's right about the timeline. The Hartford probe launched before the Empire's founding. Morrison looked at his fleet, hundreds of warships, the finest humanity had ever built, and felt them suddenly seem very small. He pressed the calm button. All ships, stand down. The unregistered vessel slowed and stopped. It did not dock. It did not surrender. It simply waited, patient the way only something truly ancient could be patient. On the Sovereign Flame, Commander Vance stared at the massive ship filling his viewscreen and understood, for the first time in his career, that humanity had never truly been alone. And whatever James Rutherford had brought back with him, the warning, the knowledge, the power of the Kalos Void. The Empire would have to decide quickly. Trust him. Or face what was coming without him. The stars, for the first time in Vance's memory, felt very close. END